Today is day 4 of week 2. We are continuing with segments, which is section 2 of chapter 1. Just to do a review, because this is from the previous lesson, our goal is to be able to apply the segment addition postulate. And I just wanted to review our symbols or our notation. If you write segment AB, or if you intend to write segment AB, the actual stick item, you need to make sure that you have a stick in your symbol. If you're talking about that it's 3 inches, 5 feet, 10 yards, it's the number, you want to make sure that that stick does not appear in your notation. So if you want it to be a number, something you can substitute, add, subtract, multiply, divide, you want it to be a number or a measure, there is not a stick in your symbol or in your notation. Segment addition postulate is what allows us to add numbers or measures from a segment. So the segment addition postulate says the sum of the measure of 2 adjacent collinear segments is equal to the total length of the overall segment. And I know that's very redundant. I've kind of added some extra words into the postulate so that I'm trying to get my point across. But the ultimate goal is that you have 2 segments that are in a line that are adjoining or touching. The measure of the first segment plus the measure of the second segment together become the overall length from beginning to end. So yesterday we had some pretty straightforward problems. You were given a diagram where the numbers were already applied to the diagram. So today we're going to look at a situation where the diagram is not given, but all the information that you need is in the question. It says point S is between points R and T. So the word between is not middle. That's very misconceiving. A lot of people think, well, if it's in the middle, then I'm exactly between. But if you think about siblings, Fred was born between Tom and Joe. Does that mean that he was born exactly in the middle in the years? No. Tom could possibly be a year older. I've already forgotten the other brother's name. The other one could be several years younger. So between just means somewhere between those 2 dates, not exactly in the middle. So point S is between points R and T means that when I go from R to T, somewhere I'm going to pass over point S. Our goal is to solve for X, and then we're going to solve for the length of RS. Now you'll see that the length of RS is an expression, and so that's why we need to go back and solve for it. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a diagram. And I don't just mean a segment RT with a point S on it. You're going to draw the segment, label the points, and label the measures. So we're going to make this very visual to help ourselves out. Oops, sorry about the laser. So first thing we're going to do is draw a picture. Now I did forget to mention this the other day, and I do apologize for that. Anything written or typed in red is something that is optional to put in your notes. So it's kind of like what I'm saying to you, and if you want to put it in words. Otherwise, you're going to just draw the picture. So you'll notice that the segment R to T is in black. So this is the picture of our segment. I went ahead and did the numbers in blue. So I know it's kind of confusing. I probably should have done this a little differently. I put arrows here, which we know means go on forever, but that's not the case here. From point R to point T, so it's beginning and ending at those 2 points, is 50. So those probably really shouldn't be arrows. But we know that this entire length is 50 because it says so right here in the question. The length of RS was given as 3x plus 21, and the length of ST was 2x minus 6. Now some of you are probably thinking, do I have to put my point S right here? No. You could have put it closer to R. You could have put it closer to T. The only thing I ask you to not do is do not put point S right in the middle, because we don't know if it's in the middle. We just know it's somewhere between those two. So step 1, draw the picture, making sure to properly label it. Step 2 is do the geometry just like you did yesterday, and that is to write the equation without the numbers. So the length from R to S plus the length from S to T equals the length of R to T. We always want to make sure we start with as much geometry as we can, because that's how we're going to support our logic and our arguments. Then we're going to convert into algebra, and this is where we substitute. So we're going to substitute the length of RS with 3x plus 21. We're going to substitute the length of ST with 2x minus 6. And then we're going to go ahead and equal the length of RT, which is 50. Then we're going to solve for x through the rules of algebra. So the first thing we're going to notice is we have too many terms with an x and too many constants on the left side. So we're going to combine like terms, and we're going to get 5x plus 15 equals 50. I know this is a video, so I tend to probably go a little faster than I should, so I apologize for that. Feel free to pause this anytime while you're taking your notes. The next rule in algebra says we need to isolate the term with the x, so that means I need to subtract the 15. So subtracting the 15 gives me 5x, whereas over here 50 minus 15 is 35. Then we need to get the x by itself by dividing, so divide 5 and divide 5, and x is 7. Okay, so let's look at that question again. Solve for x. Yep, did that, great. Now we need to solve for the length of RS. So we are going to use substitution to solve for the length of RS. The length of RS was given as 3x plus 21. You should write that down because you haven't written down the question. The question's already in the notes if you printed them off. Now, you may have written it down if you're taking notes on your own, but traditionally this would be on the worksheet or on the form. So we're going to write that down so we can tell everybody that's where I'm starting. Then we're going to substitute x for 7. Then we have to do order of operations, which says multiply before you add. So multiply and bring down everything else and then add. Again, I know many students ask, why am I doing all these steps? Because geometry is about logic, and if I can get you in the habit now that you're writing down everything that you're thinking, then when we get to the logical arguments in the next few chapters, it'll be a little more second nature to you. So point V is between points U and W. We're going to solve for x, and we're going to solve for the length of UV. So go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to draw and properly label the diagram that goes with this set of instructions. So point V is between points U and W, and I want you to label the length of UV, the length of EW, and the length of UW in the diagram. So go ahead and pause that, draw it, and then continue with the video. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully your diagram looks something like this. Okay. So point U and point W are the ends of the overall segment. Point V is somewhere between. Again, it doesn't matter where you put it, just avoid putting it right in the middle. The length of UV was 2x minus 8. I put mine at a slant to fit it in there, but you could definitely put it straight out. And I fixed my diagram. I didn't put an arrow because that was confusing. I put dots so that you can see from U to W is 17. So now that you have the diagram started or done, write your equation for geometry, the segment addition postulate. That means no blue numbers are going in the equation yet. It's all about U, V, and W. I'll give you a moment to do that. So go ahead and freeze the video if you need to. Okay, Welcome back. The length of UV plus the length of VW equals the overall length from U to W. And you can put W to U, that part doesn't matter. We know from previous lessons that the order of the letters doesn't affect the name of a segment, so the order of the letters does not affect the measure. What is affecting the segment addition postulate is that the proper measures are being added together. Whether you say the length of WV or the length of VW, that part doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're going to convert to algebra and we're going to substitute. So the length of UV is 2x minus 8. The length of VW is 3x minus 10. And the length of UW is 17. So we're going to substitute that all in. Okay, so look again. Oh, great. We have too many x terms and too many constants, so we need to combine like terms. 5x minus 18, because they're both negative, equals 17. We need to isolate the variable by adding 18, so 5x equals 35. And then we need to get x by itself by dividing by 5, so x equals 7. Okay, again, the instructions say solve for x. Yep, did that. But now we need to solve for the length of UV. So remember, the first thing you need to do is write down what you know the length of UV to be given as. So the length of UV was given as 2x minus 8. Now substitute. Okay, now you'll notice I didn't write UV again, because really I don't need to, because this side isn't changing. So 2 times 7 minus 8, order of operations says do the multiplication first. So 14 minus 8, and then go ahead and subtract, and the length of UV is 6. Again, show every step. I know right now I'm not seeing that because you're going to put this in a Google form. You're only going to put the final number in the Google form, but I need you to practice this on your paper as you're doing the assignment, so that when it comes time that you have to show your work, you're already in that habit. When it comes time to do a logical argument or a proof, you've already gotten used to justifying everything you've done. So our last little one is just a practice. You don't need to write this down. It's simply, you're going to select one of those. I'm going to give you a few moments to make that decision. You can even pause the video if you'd like. So which substitution is correct? So it says solve for x. We're given this diagram with the given information, and I've already written down the geometry for you. The length of TV plus the length of VW equals the length of TW. Which of these three options is the appropriate substitution for that situation? Okay, I hope that you picked number 1 by simply substituting 3x for the first measurement, x plus 8 for the second measurement, and 32 for the overall length. You get option number 1. Again, please feel free to go back and watch the video again if you would like. Make sure you're taking notes. If you need any extra help, please email your teacher or go request a Zoom meeting. And again, do not miss those Friday sessions. They are a spectacular way to review the week. If you would like to subscribe to the Lake Havasu High School Geometry channel on YouTube, you're looking for LHHS Geometry.